So yes, it's really happening, and now is the time. I'm taking my first solo trip out to Houston, and the only people who really know are the people who are dropping me to the airport and some of my close friends, but not the people who are actually out in Houston who I'm gonna go see, because I think it's a good idea to go surprise somebody. I'm kind of whispering right now because it's currently 3:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the first time I'm ever traveling to a different time zone. So this is the first time I'm ever traveling solo, and the flight's at 7 a.m. I honestly haven't even packed anything, but I'm only staying for like 24 hours, so it's like gonna be super quick and easy. I'm nervous, to be honest, but I'm not anxious anymore. But enough talking, let's do something.
Remember the night we will remember the day
This is my microphone. Okay. All right, so I think now is a good time to kind of just say why I went out to Houston. Out of all places in the world, why'd I go to Houston? So back in February, when I decided that, well, really in January this year, I decided that I was going to not pursue accounting, which is what I am, my bachelor degree is in, almost, and become an entertainer and pursue things that I'm passionate about, like visual storytelling. And so in efforts to make the dream come alive, in efforts to like actually figure out how I'm going to do that, I sought out an internship from a person that used to live in my hometown by the name of Melly. She and her friend created a creative media studio called 888, and they are now based in Houston. So for the past, I'd say 4 months, we have been creating a rally that is actually a protest, just kind of like expressing rage because of the Roe v. Wade overturn. So I spent the last 4 months creating this really immersive event that had Houston local vendors and artists and creatives to come all into this place to center around Black, queer, femme people because of all the things that are going on in our life. A lot of stuff. But I wasn't necessarily always planning to actually go to this event. I was okay with actually just planning it and being in New York and like seeing it. And in my head while planning it, I was just like, I really want to like see this event. I really want to like see what it feels like to like plan something and toil for something and have things go wrong and like really work towards bringing an idea into reality. Because I think it's awesome to like actually plan and execute and see what you have thought in your head become an actual tangible thing, almost surreal. So I was like, I really wish I could see this event, but I can't go. And I was like, Sabrina, why can't you go? And I was like, Sabrina, why can't you go? And I was like, Sabrina, why can't you go? And I was like, Sabrina, why can't you go? Go. Y'all, it's the way that it's hot right now, and I'm really in this hoodie in Houston, Texas. But we're at the event spot. I'm about to go meet Kirsten for the first time in real life. I'm so excited. Hi, Kirsten! Hi! Oh my god! How are you? You look good.
Performers, we're gonna have drag queens all in here. So yeah.
See, I actually almost didn't go to Houston. I bought the plane ticket 2 days before I actually hopped on the plane. Had to call out of work because, child, I ain't planning for it. And really, I don't know nobody out in Houston, so I had no business really being out there. Even the people on my creative media team, I have not met them in person. So it was like, and actually, I didn't tell nobody that I was going. But I said I'm gonna be a badass, and I went to a place that I had no clue where I really was, to be honest. They could have stashed me up, but they didn't. Okay, because praise God. I left with some of the most amazing experiences in my whole life. But even after I had set my mind that I'm gonna go, I almost didn't go. And that's because of the big snooze. And if you don't know what the big snooze is, it's pretty much the ego. But if you haven't heard the ego in this way, I'm about to tell you. So grab a seat, child. Let me just tell you something real quick about the ego self. I'm sitting right in front of the sun, so I'll make this a little bit quick. I'm not. I'm just gonna burn. The ego, or the big snooze, is the part of ourself that has been fed these limiting beliefs. It's a part of our childhood selves that has been conditioned to be told that, hey, if you become an artist or a YouTuber, baby, you're gonna be a starving artist. You gotta go to accounting school in order to get that degree and make bread, because there ain't no other way but making money for the man. All these limiting beliefs that tell you that your life is supposed to be this one way, which is usually a way that your spirit is like, but I don't want to go that way. It's very fear-based and needs validation from external people in order to get some type of approval for what we're doing in life. But when you can disregard the big snooze, the ego self, you tap into your higher self. That higher self is tapped in, tuned in, turned on to spirit, to universe, to endless possibilities, because it knows that we are connected to the universe and we are capable of doing awesome things. Okay? But because this ego side of ourselves has been conditioned since we were children, and we've been fed limiting beliefs since we were in school and all these different other places, when you decide to step out of that, a lot of things start to kind of go into shit. It's almost like when, if you've been a heroin addict, I have not been one, child, let me just make that clear. But, if you were a heroin addict and then you decide to stop doing drugs, you're going to go into a withdrawal. And the body is trying to tell you like, oh my God, I'm feeling horrible. This is a feeling I don't know before. I need some drugs. But you know that, if you keep doing drugs, baby, you might die. But the body's like, oh my God, if I don't get drugs right now, I'm gonna die. But so that's not true. But because you're doing something that's so different, your body is trying to pull you back into the old habits you used to have, because that's what it's comfortable with. But the ego self, pretty much when you decide to step out of those limiting beliefs, that external validation, all right, the fear-based attitude, when you decide to do something different, things is gonna start to shift, but not in the best way. And I know it might sound a little far-fetched, baby. Hold on tight, because your life might be boring because of this, to be honest. When I made the decision to go out to Houston, this is when I first started realizing how my ego self, my big snooze self, was gonna try and pull me back from going. Cause child, I've had my AirPods for 3 years and I lost my AirPods. How? And that was the original first AirPods that I ever bought, some AirPod Pros. And you know what they say about people who have the first original AirPods that they've ever bought? They're responsible as fuck. I bought them just when they had came out. And I had them for mad long. And the day, 2 days before, I had bought the plane ticket. No, the day before I bought the same day, I bought the plane ticket. I had lost them. And I was like, damn, how am I supposed to go on a plane with no music? Damn. And one of the things that was also like in my mind was like, Sabrina, you ain't got no money. You just lost your AirPods. And things is already $300. You gonna spend that much on the plane ticket? Like, you really about to go to Houston right now when you just lost your AirPods? But I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna let this thing hold me back from literally going to an event that I feel like will be shifting for me. And child, when I tell you that event was shifting for me, it was. I'm gonna get into it later on in this video, right? And so I said, Sabrina, wouldn't it be funny if things just kept on happening? Like, wouldn't it be... Child, it wasn't funny because things kept on happening. I just wanted to just like melt and fold into a bowl, become like one of them roly-polies and just roll into a river or something like that. But, I was like, you know what, Sabrina, this is just reiteration that you need to go on this trip. This is just reiteration that something is out for you out in Houston that you don't know yet, but you need to get yourself up out of here and go. And right now you might be like, oh, this girl's spitting bars. This girl got something to say. It is all in chapter 3 of this book written by Jen Sincero, which is called You Are a Badass. And baby, what I did, all right, 2 weeks ago, going out to Houston without knowing nobody, impromptu trip, just bought a plane ticket and hopped on the plane, is very badass. If you want to learn how to be a badass, not only do I recommend picking up this book, I recommend hopping onto my book club, okay, that'll be coming out in a few more weeks. If you want to know more about it, head to my Instagram. It's the same handle, Nina the Crab. And we'll be not only reading books, because child, it's one thing to read a self-help book. It's another thing to read the self-help book and then use it to change your life. And I'm going to teach you how to change your life. But baby, pretty much, if there is something holding you back from living life that you want, and it's trying to tell you, no, stay here. Stay in this comfortable position. Please do the exact opposite. Because it is just the part of you that is like so uncomfortable that it's like it does not want you to see more, because it just wants you to stay confined to what you've been fed your whole entire life. But baby, I'm letting you know that even though it feels uncomfortable, even though it feels like you want to withdraw, and you need to shot a heroin, please let the heroin go and go follow your dreams. I don't know how I'm gonna put this into words when I go home, but it's just crazy that like again, the proof that this is what happened today. Like, this dead ass my friend.
This dead ass my friend, you guys.
Like, it's giving love. It's giving
mutual. Reciprocated.
It's giving.
She gets it.
Our journeys are this now. Crossed.
Our paths have crossed.
Like, it's giving alignment. It's giving spirit.
It's giving what it needed to give.
I love you.
I love you too, bro.
Can I give you a kiss?
Today was beautiful. Today was beautiful.
Thanks.
I know that gloss is everywhere. Let's airdrop all of this. Okay.
I truthfully, honestly had one of the best days of my whole entire life. Yes, I only spent 24 hours out in Houston. Like I said, it was very impromptu trip. I had work the next day, child. But I had one of the best days in Houston. And I'm going to just highlight some of the best moments that I had. Just doing that action was the best thing, actually, that came out of the trip. Going to Houston. Like, it showed me how much potential that I have when I can just trust my intuition. And trusting intuition is a little bit new for me. So it just showed me how good things can get if I can just trust my inner being, if I can trust the path that spirit is telling me to traverse on, travel on, disregard that. But it just showed me how much is possible for me if I just believe. I've never traveled anywhere. I've never really done a solo trip or a trip with my friends. So going to Houston was huge because it was literally a whole different state. And I did that all by myself. And not only did I do that all by myself, I left Houston with a shift of perspective. And I'm about to tell you that now. And also a new friend group, which is all that I've been praying for. So the first bestest thing that happened was meeting Lala. And the great thing is that me and Lala, after 5 hours knowing each other, became like this. Okay, we became like best of friends, and we still FaceTime to this day. To this day. And I just hope that she's in my life for an extended period of time, because I just feel like she sees me. And the great thing about meeting Lala out in Houston is that, like, when we first were introduced to each other, we were the head volunteers of the event. So, you know, we were kind of like organizing shit together. Child, I ain't know her. She ain't know me. But by the time that night was over, she and I were like laughing for like hours, bro. No cap, hours, just giggling and just mad feeling touchy, and like just sharing intimate and vulnerable moments of our lives with one another. Like, knowing her, it just felt like I made a friend. And it was insane to me how that friendship progressed so much in the span of 24 hours, not even less than that. And that I left Houston coming back with a friend. The second most baffling thing that happens to me out in Houston is I'm going, you know me, man. I be talking, I be chatting. So I'm going around, me and hella Houston people talking about, yeah, I'm from New York, you know. And everybody kind of thinks of New York like, you know, Manhattan, the city. I'm like probably 40 minutes out from there, but child, I live in the suburbs. I'm behind a tree. This is not a park. This is my house. I don't live in the big old city. So people don't really know where I stay. You know, I live in a small part of New York. And I'm going around making my rounds, introduce myself to people, and I see someone with a camera. And because I'm passionate about videography and visual storytelling, I approach this gentleman. I'm like, hey, like, what camera do you use? Oh shoot, we have the same camera. Nice meeting you, but you know, I'm not from out here. I'm from New York. What he say? He said, I'm from New York too. I said, bro, that's crazy. And it's kind of stereotypical because immediately I'm thinking that maybe he's from like the city or whatever, because that's where my mind went. And I said, that's cool. I'm from this small part of town called this. He said, that's wicked, bro, because I grew up there. I said, what? He said, yeah, I grew up in this even smaller city called this. I said, bro, get out. I live there. God sent me to Houston to meet someone that literally lives right next door. Okay, they don't live actually in this neighborhood. They actually do live in the city now. But still, you get the point. God sent me out to Houston to meet somebody who live in New York. So not only did I leave Houston with a friend, I left Houston with a connection. Actually, me and Manny, we met up the other day in the city. But it's like I left Houston with like just a colleague. Someone who admires the same thing that I admire, bro. And not only is he from New York, but like when he told me his name, I said, bro, I've heard about you before in the grapevine. I've seen your work. I've studied your work because it's so good. You're doing a good job, bro. Must I say more? I really do be creating my own reality. Like I flew to Houston, bro, by myself, which I think is already a huge flex, and came to something that I knew was going to be so shifting, and met people and connected with people. And I'm about to go back to New York and actually continue to keep working with people. But it's like I'm in it right now, living the dream, doing the things that I want to be doing. Like, it's here. It's really nowhere else. It's here. Like, I'm doing the stuff that I want to be doing. Like, really, I love y'all, and I want y'all to trust yourselves and y'all vision, and to do that with no fear, with no mentality of lack, with no mentality of it's gonna go wrong. Because even if you do go wrong, child, it's going wrong so it can go right. Okay, I love y'all. Peace, love, and light from me to you always. Mwah.